This example is giving us a limit question. It's asking us a question, what is the limit as x approaches -1 of this equation f of x? And then they give us a graph over here on the right to use to answer that limit question. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm doing a limit problem is I draw what I call my wall. So at whatever this x value is they're asking me to approach. So in this situation, as x approaches -1. So I come over here to -1 and I draw myself a wall at -1. Step 2 of the process is I figure out, well, what kind of limit do they want? Are they asking me for a left-hand limit, a right-hand limit, or an overall limit? Well, when I don't have anything, no plus, no minus in that exponent down there, then I know that what I'm being asked to find is an overall limit. And so the joy of an overall limit is that hidden inside there is the fact that we actually have to answer the question, what is the left-hand limit and then what is the right-hand limit? And in the end, we just compare those values to get our final answer. So we come through and the first thing we need to do is find a left-hand limit. So as we approach that x value from the left direction, what y value does it look like I'm headed towards? So I start drawing along my graph from the left direction, and I run into my wall at a y value of 4. So my left-hand limit would be 4. I then have to answer the question, what is my right-hand limit as I approach that same x value? So this time, drawing along my graph from the right direction, what y value does it look like I would run into? So I draw from the right direction, and I run into my wall down here this time at this value, which would be a y value of -3. Once I have those two values, now what I do is I just need to compare those two values and see whether or not they're equal. So in this situation, I've got 4 and -3. Those two things are not equal. So when they're not equal to each other, that tells me that my overall limit dne does not exist. So really, it's about, do my left-hand limit and right-hand limit, do they run into each other? And that's going to be the same value, and so the overall limit would exist. Or do my two left-hand limits and right-hand limits miss each other entirely? And when that happens, then it's a does not exist situation. And remember, limits don't care about open circles or dots or where those are at. Limits only care, what does it look like I'm headed towards?